Hey to all you beautiful vapors out there. Thank you for tuning in to another Mist Roundup. And if you are new to the channel, please subscribe because we would love to have you as part of the regular Mist Menagerie. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a rather exciting topic, CBD Disposables. CBD, aka cannabidiol, is a 100% legal extract from the cannabis plant. What they do is they remove all of the psychoactive components of the cannabis plant that people use for recreational purposes, though this of course is illegal. What CBD leaves you with is an extract that simply contains the anti-inflammatory properties that are often associated with the cannabis plant. Now, hands up, I am not a medical professional. I cannot give any kind of medical advice, so I just want to get that out of the way right away. I don't want to tell you something that is going to be unreliable to you in the future. What I can attest to is CBD's popularity among those who often complain of various aches, pains, certain discomforts, and things that are associated with inflammatory issues. Now, CBD vaping has grown in popularity very quickly because of the immediate onset of effect that you get when you vape CBD. There are those that will smoke the flower, but of course, smoke is never really something that you want to be ingesting. Combusted plant material, whilst obviously we're not talking about tobacco here, still you don't necessarily want to be filling your lungs with smoke all the time. And occasionally, people will find that when ingesting CBD, either as capsules, tinctures, and oils, because the human digestive system is a bit of a labyrinth that isn't always up to the same job as it is one day and the other, sometimes you get a bit of an unequal level of absorption. The onset of effect won't kick in right away, takes a little while to get through the digestive system. So many people find when they're in a sudden moment of, oh, I need a little bit of that kind of relief, a quick puff of a CBD vape, and it's a fairly immediate effect that you just feel kicking in right away. Now, while CBD vape juice is of course available and popular, today it's CBD disposables that we're going to be taking a look at because these are, in our opinion, the very best way to trial the CBD experience without taking a gamble on buying a whole vape kit just to vape CBD if you don't know if it's what you need. Might be the case that you try CBD and think, hey, maybe this isn't for me, and you will be glad to know that all you did was buy a single disposable to get a feel for it. Or maybe you'll take a few puffs on the disposable and realize this is the way forward for me. So without further ado, we're going to take a look at 6 excellent CBD disposables, all of which are different. There's going to be different compositions of CBD, different cannabis strengths. Let's go ahead and take a look at the very first. So first up, we have a disposable CBD vape from Just CBD. This is one of their strawberry lemonade units, and it contains 150 milligrams of CBD isolates. It gives you up to 250 puffs and contains 1.3 mil of CBD e-liquid. That's going to be mixed with the usual propylene glycol and vegetable glycerin, VGPG. This is quite an interesting one because the strawberry lemonade flavor is very zesty, juicy, fruity, and has a lovely citrus kick. You'll notice it has absolutely zero weedy flavor or, more importantly, scent. Puffing on this in public is not going to attract any attention. Again, we must stress, it's a completely legal object, but we appreciate you don't always want to be kicking out the smell of cannabis wherever you go, even if you're legally in the clear. Can lead to some uncomfortable situations. The reason that you get that nice, clear, fruity soda smell and taste is because of the use of CBD isolates. Isolate CBD extracts only what is strictly necessary from the plant itself. There are those who do believe sometimes isolates can be slightly on the less powerful side, but the benefit of this is that it allows you to kick any flavor you want into there and not have to worry about kicking out a dank, smoggy cloud. Now, this isn't the strongest, only being 150 milligram in strength, but it is an excellent way to try a threshold dose of CBD and see if it's what you need. Next up, we got an interesting hybrid for you in the form of Ohm Brew's take on OG Kush, one of the most classic and memorable cannabis strains out there, which can now be enjoyed completely legally. This unit contains a very interesting blend of both CBD and CBG, that's cannabidiol and cannabidiol, respectively. both of which have an impact on the body's inflammatory system to hopefully provide some relief when you're getting little flare-ups, that kind of thing. Many believe that using both kinds of cannabinoid results in what's referred to as the entourage effect, where different cannabinoids in the system work together to create a greater overall effect, effectively arguing that this is greater than the sum of its parts. The unit contains 6 mils and offers up to 1,200 puffs, which is quite a lungful. This is, of course, a rather interesting story. I mean, OG Kush has a lot of history behind it. There is a lot of mystique and mystery as to exactly where it came from. Widely believed that it was originally cultivated in Florida to try and rival those growers in California who were really dominating things in the US. So whilst many people believe that OG might mean simply original and best, others believe that OG stands for ocean grown. But either way, these things don't really matter to you. What you do get from this unit is a really nice hefty dose, which again we stress uses 2 different kinds of cannabinoid to hopefully deal with what you're hoping to sort out in a more rounded way. Now we've got a full spectrum warrior on our hands in the form of Aroma King's Mama Huana CBD with their Vanilla Kush mix. This contains 500 milligrams of CBD, no CBG in this one, but what you do get with this one is a full spectrum extraction, which many prefer to isolate extraction. Not everyone, but some. Full spectrum extraction takes everything you legally can from the plant, only leaving behind that which is considered and classed as illicit. What this is supposed to result in is that entourage effect that we spoke about before. You take every little tiny fleck of cannabis energy that you possibly can from the plant while still leaving behind anything illegal, and hopefully all of that various cannabinoid loveliness is going to work together on your system. There are many who do tend to prefer full spectrum stuff, though it must be noted, full spectrum CBD will pretty much always contain terpenes from the plant, meaning it's going to taste and smell like cannabis. So consider where you're going to use this one. It's fun at home, it's great on a walk in the park, maybe not as you're walking past the playground. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. With this one, Vanilla Kush, you do get a lovely, creamy and velvety inhale, which has that lovely sort of pungent, earthy cannabis flavor underneath it, but on top you get a lovely layering of really nice, tasty, sumptuous, creamy goodness. You get 500 milligrams, 2 mils of liquid, which is a little more than some of the other ones we've looked at, and you get up to 700 puffs from the unit. So if you don't want to start too low, but you're also a little concerned about going too high, this is a great way to start off, particularly if you're not too concerned about smelling a little bit weedy. Up next, we've got the first of 2 Orange County units we'll be looking at today, with Orange County's Blueberry Muffin CBD Disposable. Now this is a rather interesting unit compared to the other ones we're going to be looking at today, because this particular piece of kit is PGVG free. That's right. What you have in here is not actually vape liquid. It is a pure cannabis tincture that has been extracted from the plant using broad spectrum extraction. Broad spectrum is very similar to full spectrum. They just leave a tiny bit more in the plant in order to play things safe. That's not to say that full spectrum isn't completely safe, but this is simply the way that Orange County do things. And being one of the bigger CBD manufacturers in America and the world, hailing from Northern California as they do, we're gonna rely on what they wanna do. We have a feeling that Orange County certainly know their way around the cannabis plant or two. You get 700 puffs from the unit and 600 milligrams of strength. But do not be confused by the name Blueberry Muffin, because Blueberry Muffin is in fact a cannabis strain. This has a deeply pungent, weedy taste and smell. Many people are going to find that they really like that, because it is the case from a few CBD users that we've spoken to. Some of them found that they got a little bit more of a faster effect when their taste receptors registered that cannabis taste that they were used to. Whereas when they were just puffing on stuff that was sort of raspberry sorbet flavored, They were a little unsure as to when it was going to kick in, and it did eventually, but they found that getting that nice weedy flavor really set their minds at ease of, I've just taken in some cannabinoids, let's wait for that to kick in. And then it does rather quickly. You do tend to find that you have to pull kind of hard on this object. It's got a little bit of a tight draw, and that's because the tincture has not been emulsified in PG or VG. It's very thick, so you're gonna have to kick quite hard on it to get that puff out. But when you do, believe me, brother, you are going to feel it rather quickly. Orange County are one of the better CBD e-liquid manufacturers, and their disposables are some of the best in the game in our opinion. It's small, it's light, and it's got a remarkably strong kick. So definitely give this one a shot, particularly if you've found this video because you're interested in CBD, but vaping isn't necessarily your thing. Give this tincture a try and see if cannabinoids have got what you need. Next up, we've got another Orange County unit for you, but this one is a rather bigger beast than before. We've got Orange County's Pink Lemonade unit, which contains 1,000 milligrams of a CBD CBG blend, and I believe 10 milliliters of liquid in this unit alone. Now, how can we possibly do that? The TPD restrictions mean you can't have more than 2 mils, right? Wrong, friend. That is only the case when your e-liquid contains nicotine. Nicotine is the whole thing. TPD, Tobacco Products Directive, has no interest in cannabinoids, particularly legal ones, meaning there isn't actually anything limiting how much CBD vape liquid you can have inside a disposable vape. Now, despite the fact that they've used broad spectrum extraction, which usually imparts quite a lot of weedy flavor, Orange County have used their expertise in cannabis extraction to somehow not flavor this liquid with the terpenes of the plant, which is frankly something I've never encountered before in a non-isolate CBD e-liquid. The pink lemonade flavor is frankly delicious. I mean, if we were just doing a best vape flavors video again, I would honestly be tempted to feature this one because it is very, very tasty. You've got that vibrant tanginess of the raspberry coming in, which clashes beautifully with that lovely citrus soda profile with just a hint of sparkle to it as well. Honestly, you could puff on this all day just to enjoy the flavor, and you would get that wonderful, wonderful CBD effect to go with it. That 1,000 milligram, you do need to, of course, consider that 1,000 milligrams is being spread across 10 milliliters. You have to do a little bit of liquid math sometimes. So when you do have a unit that contains a lot of e-liquid, don't immediately see that huge milligram and think, wow, that's strong, because basically it's almost like attaching a few weaker disposables together, if that makes any sense to you. You get a grand total of around 3,500 puffs from this unit. That's right, friends. I mean, we've looked at disposable vapes before that give you maybe, 600 puffs? 3,500 puffs from this unit. It's got a relatively good battery in it as well, which is good because you cannot plug it in, but you should be able to get all of your CBD loveliness from this device. And if you are certain that CBD is something you definitely want to try, I cannot recommend it strongly enough. Orange County know what they are doing. And finally, we've got a big boy for you. In our opinion, the best CBD disposable out there, purely based on strength value. We have got one of Darwin CBD's big ones, their Sweet Strawberry CBD disposable, which contains a, drumroll please, 2,000 milligram dosage. That is double what the Orange County one contains. Now, this particular unit uses CBD isolates, which does of course mean you don't get any weedy flavor along with it. I will go ahead and say Darwin CBD's thing is CBD. They're very good at it. Their flavoring is fine. It's certainly fine. It's not gonna be quite as tasty as the pink lemonade that you got from the Orange County one. It's still nice, it's got a bit of a synthetic kind of flavor to it, and it does have a lovely juicy strawberry profile. But flavor almost seems to matter a little bit less when you consider that across 8.5 mils of liquid, that's less than you got in that one, you get 2,000 milligrams of CBD strength contained in this lovely, plucky little unit. Meaning, once you start inhaling this, you're going to get a very immediate onset of good, solid effects. If you're a little unsure about CBD, you want to try it, but you're a bit concerned about trying anything that's like too weak because you want to know what it's actually going to feel like, go ahead and give this one a try. If you don't like it, you can say in absolute certainty, you tried CBD pretty much as strong as you could get it. And you will find that if this one works for you, CBD is definitely something that you are going to want to work with in the future. Hats off to Darwin CBD for somehow cramming that much strength into a wonderfully ergonomic, pocket-friendly, and portable disposable vape pen. Thank you for watching this roundup of what we believe are the very best CBD disposable vape pens currently available. CBD, as we have stressed, isn't necessarily for everyone, but we do recommend that anyone who wants to try maybe a non-pharmaceutical solution to various issues, give CBD a try because there's no reason not to. You've got a natural compound there, which many people have attested they have found extremely helpful. And these disposables mean you can go ahead, grab one, take it out of the packaging, pull the rubber stoppers out, give it a puff, and get a real feel for the full CBD vaping experience without having to buy a whole kit, a bottle of juice that you might use and find this wasn't for me and now I've just spent all this money. An excellent way to give CBD vaping a try. We hope that you've enjoyed it, guys. Leave us a comment if there's any of these that stood out to you, or if there's any CBD vape juices that you think are the very best in the world. We would love to look at those in the future, and I would not be surprised if we do a little roundup of those coming up soon. Have a great day, guys. Peace out.